If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
That is right. I am your business optimization expert. I'm Christine McIver. I am the host of the Inspired Choices show, and I'm thrilled that we are live today. Oh my gosh, what's going on out there? What's happening for you in your world and in your business? We're going to be talking about some really cool things tonight, and I'm going to be bringing all that I can to the table to support you in your business. Now, if you're not in your own business yet and you desire to be in your own business, no problem. You have got a library of content that you can be learning from and growing before you even start your business. Who do you know out there that would like to start a business, that has been talking about starting a business? Well, we have so many shows here, both my shows and many other host shows here on the network, that you have an entire library. It's actually a university of education and content, free at your fingertips, that you can come in and you can listen to, or you can watch the shows and you can learn and grow and really, stack things in your favor. And why not? Why wouldn't you want to do that, right? So tonight we are talking about mine your own gold of brilliance in business. Now, why would I talk about that? Well, I've been in my own business now for just over 15 years. I'm actually going into my 16th year of business. And I have been at the beginning of a business when I thought, what do I actually have that I can bring to the table? What do I know? How am I going to survive? I've been in all of those places of doubt and worry and trying to create and not sure how to do it. I've put in the time. I've made plenty of mistakes. And what really lights me up is supporting other people so that they can learn and grow even faster. The more you listen to people who've been there and done it, the faster you can be there and do it. So why not take advantage of that? And so that's what makes me an expert in my field. I am a professional business coach. I'm also the owner and CEO of the Inspired Choices Network. We're doing lots of really cool things. We're now Summit Production Company. We now have VA services that really support you to bring your voice to the world. We also support you in learning how to create in business, how to have the tools and really to set that up. We're always looking at what else can we do. And, that's been part and parcel through me learning to mine my own gold of brilliance. So I thought this was a perfect show to bring to the airwaves to speak with people about. And you know what? If you have questions or comments, if you'd like to join us, come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room and put your questions in there. We always have a good time. We've got some people in there already tonight, and we're already starting the interaction, which I really, really love. So your questions and your comments are valuable. And if you have a thought, if you have a question, there's probably somebody else out there that would love to hear the answer to that as well. So if you're live with me tonight, fantastic. If you're listening in the replay, gratitude for you plus pressing the play button. And you can still send me questions. You can email me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca, where I love to get your questions and your comments. And I'm here to really support people in business because why not? To me, business is pleasure. Okay, so let's get into the show tonight. So mine your own gold of brilliance. Let me just read the show notes and then we'll jump in. So are you lost in identifying your personal brilliance? Do you struggle to know what your expertise is and what is valuable to others? Tonight, we're going to talk about where we can explore the theme of identifying your brilliance and unlocking your true potential. We're going to walk through a process of self-reflection, exploring your passions, claiming your strengths and talents, and learning how to overcome self-doubt and plan for your success. Let's put on our mining hats, let's take out our picks, and let's start mining our brilliance. So What does it mean to mine your own brilliance? Well, here's what I know is that we have so much information that we're aware of in our minds, in our conscious brains, but we also have 10 times, 100 times that amount of knowledge in our subconscious brain, something that we may have learned at one time and then didn't utilize, or we kind of put aside, and it's still within us. The other piece is that we have connections to higher thought. We have connection to higher knowledge. We have definitely energies in the world that are not in bodies that are here to support us, including our businesses. I was interviewed on a podcast this week, and we dove deeply into communicating with your business. Now, that's not something I'm going to get into tonight, but that is just one piece of support that is here and available to you to assist you in mining your own gold. And why not? Why not use every possible tool, every advantage for you to grow your business and have way more fun? So that's the very first thing, is there's a lot of things that you know that you may not realize that you know, that if you would allow yourself to receive that knowledge, it could really change a great deal for you in your business. Okay, so let's talk about self-reflection. I would love for you to begin to look at yourself and pay attention to what it is that you have been creating, what you have succeeded at, and where you still have areas that you would like to grow. So when you are in self-reflection, when you begin to look at that, what is so important is, a lot of people, I want you to think about, you're going to go apply for a job. So what a lot of us do is we put down our education and then we put down our experience. That those two things are very small pieces of who you are and your brilliance. If you were to begin to list out the things that you are great at, the things that you love, the areas that you are interested in, and you started to make a list of those, along with, even beside them, just think of a piece of paper, you're writing out all of those things, what you love to do, what you're great at, what you're interested in. And then beside there, you started to list out where you succeeded with that. Right. So if you said, I remember when I was a child, I loved babysitting. And so if I wrote down babysitting and I would put beside it, succeeded at its assisting babysitting over 20 children within a 10-year period. I'm a very good babysitter, and I was rehired again and again and again from the same parents. So that's where you start to add in not only your interest list, but that's where you start to add in your success list. Most of us are looking at, where did I earn money? And there is a huge gap between what you're successful at, what your interests are at, where you have learned to do things, and where you've gotten paid. And what so many people do is they miss the opportunity of realizing that a lot of those skills and traits and interests and hobbies and things that they did, even volunteering, that there are capacities within there and knowledge within there that we have taken and put in our brilliance basket. So how many of you have a brilliance basket that you've been ignoring? How many of you have been only tracking the jobs that you have had and where you have made money? If you're in your own business, how many are you tracking the services you have sold only? And there's probably, I would guess, a great deal more services that you could be offering, that you could be making money at. Well, the big thing here for me that I really want you to understand is there is such a huge gap between where you have succeeded at making money and where you have brilliance and opportunities to make and create even more. You've got to be willing to mine. You've got to be willing to mine your own gold and realize that there's a massive gap there. one of the big things that you want to recognize is that you are more than the few years you've maybe been in business. I'm more than 15 years of being in business. I have a lot more knowledge and experience in many different areas than just the 15 years that I've been in business. So therefore, regardless of how much money you've made in business, regardless of how many years you've been in business, you have many more years of being a human, of learning and growing and having capacities and brilliance in years of information and knowledge that you haven't even utilized towards your business. And you likely have not looked any farther than just the years that you've been in business, right? We are not taught to go back and cultivate this knowledge that we started with. We're not taught to do that. Most of us are taught to look at what's selling, look at what's hot, look where you can make the most money, look at what your competitors are doing, which I think is a bunch of crap. Look at what your competitors are doing and try to do it better, faster, harder, less money, a bigger deal. You know the whole laundry list, right? And we're missing so much. You have more capacities than you are acknowledging, and probably a lot more brilliance than you've ever even imagined. Okay, so you want to start that reflection. That reflection is so, so important. You want to ask yourself, what things have I done that when I'm doing them, I just get lost in it? I have so much fun in it. One of the things, and if you've listened to my show many times, one of the things that I get lost in is baking pies. When I start to bake pies, or I bake butter tarts, which is a Canadian specialty, when I start to do that, I get lost in it. I am completely engrossed in it. I have no idea what time it is. I have no idea what's going on in the world around me because I'm enjoying it so much. And that's where your brilliance starts to feed you. So I want you to look at the things that you used to do and look at the things that you do now that you lose all track of time with when you're doing it. There is knowledge in there that could be contributing to business ideas and business creations. So those are the first couple of things that I want you to look at. Another thing that I want you to look at is that when something brings you joy and fulfillment, and the center of that connects with your core values, there is brilliance there, again, that can feed your business. There is a lot of pre-work that needs to be done for you to add to your business. There are so many things that I really feel business owners and leaders need to be doing outside of sales, outside of coaching, outside of doing the work that they get paid for. Because if you're not continuing to exercise those muscles, if you're not continuing to exercise your knowledge and add to your knowledge base, you are likely going to get bored, and you are likely going to miss out on so many opportunities. Because here's the thing, when you start in your business, you maybe have 2 or 3 things and you may have priced them quite modestly, but that doesn't sustain your business, especially if you go from part-time to full-time. So it's very important that you continue to understand that you are the research and development team. You are that department, and that research and development is researching and developing you. You are your own research and development team and specimen. And in order for you to really mine your own gold, you got to put you at the center of attention. Okay, we are up to our first break already. Oh my gosh, I've got so much I want to share with you tonight, and we'll get through it. No worries. Stick around. We'll have a very short break, and we'll jump right back into it. So you're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver. We are on the Inspired Choices Network. Stick around.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Thank you so much. This has been an exciting show so far. I hope you're enjoying it. If you've just joined, we are talking about how to mine your own gold of brilliance for business. And we dove in right away to teaching you that there's more brilliance that you have that you probably have forgotten about, that you're probably even not aware of how to tap into. So that's a big, big piece. What I really would love for you to do is to start out with some self-exploration. Start looking at the things that you love to do, that you have fun doing, that you used to do that was fun and pleasurable, that you got lost in. So it's not that, you're going to, for instance, I had given you an example of babysitting. It's something I've done many, many hours of doing. So it's not that I'm going to start babysitting. Hell no. It's not that I'm going to start babysitting in my business. But when you start to look at aspects of things that I did while I was doing babysitting, when I start to look at those aspects, that's where the knowledge, that's where some of the capacities and the capabilities, that's where it starts to kind of come up and go, okay, what here? And all you have to do is ask yourself a question. What was I doing there that can contribute to my business today? Because you didn't get to this point just one day, there you go, and you're starting your business. You've been adding and adding. You've been taking and bringing forward with you skills and knowledge. And probably a lot of what you've brought forward is the things that are top of mind, but there's probably still a lot of things that you used to do that you have forgotten about. And that's where I want you to start going and mining your previous experiences. That's a really, really important piece. Okay. So let's get into the next stage. So the next stage is I want you to start looking at your strengths and your weaknesses. Your strengths and your talents. Look at those strengths and talents. What are you talented at? What are you really, really good at? Where are you just naturally good at something? And ask yourself, what do other people commend me about? Like, oh my gosh, people will say to me, oh my gosh, Christine, like, you're so good with technology. And this was before I started to have an online network. This was before Inspired Choices Network. People used to say that to me all the time. Well, ding, I'm good at technology, right? So that's something that you can put down in your book of My Brilliance. Like, get a book, write on it, My Brilliance, and start putting all of this amazing mining information into this book. This is what I'm brilliant at. I am brilliant at technology. What do I love? I friggin' love technology. I love it. So of course, that's going to be one of the things that I can add to my brilliance. And then how can I utilize, and this is you, if you're brilliant at technology, how can I utilize my brilliance of technology in my business? Now, I want you to remember that when you ask these questions, you're not sitting there and asking another person and expecting an immediate answer. What you're doing when you ask these types of questions is you are putting it out to the universe. Your business is listening. Your business is always listening to you. Your team of spiritual guides, your team, the universe, the divine is always, always, always listening. So when you are asking, and please do up your asking, when you're asking, they are listening and they are going to start to create a way to communicate with you. They're going to start to create, to show you what these things can do and how they can add to your business. A really big piece that I want you to pay attention to are your filters. What filters do you have listed in your mind? What filters do you operate under that are actually stopping you from acknowledging your brilliance? Do you have a belief system that you bought into that you're not brilliant? Do you have a belief system that says, yeah, I'm not creative? Do you have a belief system or a filter that says, if it doesn't show up like this, then it can't contribute to my business? It's not going to add to my business. Do you have any filters, any belief systems that are actually putting up blinders for you and not allowing this knowledge to come through? I 100% had a filter. I had probably many filters, but the one that pops out to my mind is I bought into the lie that I was not brilliant. Now, as far as getting like A pluses in school, that was not my dig. That was not what I did. That was not school, and textbooks was not super easy for me. I learned differently. I was more of a hands-on. I did great at computers. I did great in typing. I did great with anything that I got to get my hands into and understand by touching and doing. Just memorizing something and trying to hold it in my memory. I had a wall up. I had a wall up to receiving the knowledge, even as I was reading, because I bought into the lie that a teacher said that I was not smart, that I was actually stupid, and I was likely not going to go on to high school. I bought into that. What lie have you bought into that is stopping you from receiving your own brilliance? You know what? We got to clear that shit away. We got to get rid of that bullshit. Now, remember, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief is no more than a thought that you keep thinking. If there is some way to learn something, if there's instructions, if you can get guidance from someone, if you can take a course, if you can listen to an audio, if you can follow along in a book, you can learn new things. You absolutely can. So don't buy into that crap that you're not brilliant. I bought into that and it chased me. It chased me for years. It had me make choices where I thought I wasn't going to be able to do something, so I would hide away. I didn't take certain courses in high school, so I was petrified that everybody in high school was going to find out I was stupid. I was like, when I got through high school, I thought, oh my God, I fooled everybody. Nobody is aware. How did I do that? Thank God I did that. Nobody knows I'm brilliant. I'm not brilliant. Nobody knows how stupid I am. Oh my God, I keep fooling people and keep fooling people. Can you imagine laying that at somebody's feet when you're like 12 years old, I don't know, not 10, 11 years old, and what the impact that has on you? And you may not have a very clear awareness of someone saying something to you like I do, but you may have some shitty things that have been said to you or implied about you that you're carrying with you that you maybe have been avoiding acknowledging. I'm not saying everybody has it, but a lot of people have these types of experiences and they try to ignore them, and yet they are still present. So I want to invite you to work to let go of those and to prove them wrong. If you remember the experience, write it down and then start going and finding evidence to show your brain that that's no longer true. And that accomplishment list that I was talking about in the first segment, that's what that accomplishment list can do. It can actually show you in written form, there's the evidence, and you can let go of that. In the chat room, what do we got? Sandy says, I love that I keep developing myself. I've learned so much in the last 6 months from seeing what works and what does not work. Good for you, Sandy. That's fantastic. Michaela says some people just say the nasty things to children. They need slapping. I'm on a roll here. She says, yeah, they do need slapping, but don't do that because, the law and stuff. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about finding more of your brilliance. One of the things that it suggests out there is that if you do personality assessments, that sometimes you can gain some insight into some of your strengths. I have done those in the past and didn't realize what it pointed out, because it's not that I didn't realize it, it just wasn't obvious. Sometimes the things that are just the way you behave, the way you operate, you may not see them as a strength. You may not see them as a brilliance. And yet when you take some of these tests, that will actually come up and it will say that, hey, this is a strength. These are the things about you that is showing you have strength in these areas. And that's when you start to go, oh, because something outside of you sometimes has shown you that that's a strength, then you start to add that to your toolbox of brilliance. You want to also look at exploring some new passions. Like, what's going on that really pops for you that would be just so exciting to add to your toolbox, that if you didn't decide, well, that's not what I do. That's not what I do. That's not what I went to school for. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense because it doesn't connect to my business. So when I first started in business, guys, I was in human resources. And then when I started my own business, I was doing a little bit of human resources part-time, and I was life coaching, primarily women. Then men started to come to me for relationship coaching. And so when the opportunity of having my own show was presented, I was super excited about it, having my own radio show. I was super excited about it. And I was speaking on that show initially from the perspective of what I was doing at that time, which was life coaching and relationships. And so fast forward a couple of years, and when it was presented to me, the idea of possibly producing a live radio show and podcast, there was a spark that came up and said, yeah, I don't do that. I'm a business professional. I'm an HR professional. That came up in my mind, which was my ego, right? It was also my fear, because I didn't know how to do this, and I didn't want to certainly step out there and do something and then fail. And then I had a little conversation with myself and I said, stop it. Ask more questions. You don't know. So I started to ask more questions, and I was willing to step into a different possibility, something new that I could add to my business, really from a revenue stream perspective. And I had no idea, truly, how doing what I was producing initially, how that was going to fit with my business. Now, you can be in business and do things that do not relate to each other. Okay. You can add something new. Like at one time when money was really tight, I thought about actually adding making pies to my business. Who makes the rules what you can and can't do in your business, right? And I always did. I've had a number of people say, well, you could always make pies and sell them, especially at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that's actually true. I could. I'm not going to. It's not something I want to be doing in my business, but I do look at the skills that I utilize when I am making pies that I can transfer into other aspects of my business for sure. But you don't always have to have everything that matches in your business, everything that connects or relates to each other to add it to your business. Nobody says that doesn't make sense. whose business is this? It's nobody else's, it's yours. But when you're willing to continue to look at, hey, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. This is really cool. I've never thought about doing that. And I love to do this. I love to do that. Like maybe you love to teach people how to operate certain programs on the computer. Why couldn't you teach people that? Today, one of the things that I teach is I teach people how to have a proper setup for an online live video production. So this is something that I teach. This is something that I'm passionate about. Yes, it is something that I can bring to my hosts and to their guests, but it's not something that I have to. It's not something that I had to do, but it was something that I enjoy doing. And so I started to create that. And what was really cool as I've continued over the years to cultivate what makes me happy, what excites me, what lights me up, as I've continued to do that, it's been like a puzzle of these pieces starting to come together and starting to fit. So what is possible for you in your business if you let go of the filters that you are bad at anything, that you should be hiding anything? What if you let go of that doesn't fit, that doesn't make sense, and you really started to move into playing with what interests you? What's popping for you right now? What you're passionate about? What if you allowed yourself to play in your business, to play in your research and development time within your business? There's companies out there that they have the coolest setup for the research and development team. They've got, ping pong tables. They've got big bean bags. They have got crayons and markers and, play yards and all sorts of things, because they know when people play and they get creative in play, that energy will transfer into business ideas. Well, if you're your own research and development team, what are you doing to set up play in your business? That's a question I want to leave you with. We're up for our next break. Don't go away. We've got lots more to share with you. You listen to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver. We'll be right back. We're on the Inspired Choices Network.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Here we are. We're back again. Thank you, everyone, for staying and playing. And if you are listening in the replay, I appreciate you hitting that play button. If you are looking for more of our shows, you can find us on your favorite podcast platform. Where do you like to listen? Where do you like to watch? You will likely find us there. We are on over 350 platforms, and you can find us live or you can find us in replay. You can always come over to the inspiredchoicesnetwork.com and find all the podcast shows there as well, or download our free app. You heard that in the commercials. You just go to your app store and search Inspired Choices Network. You can download our free app. You can listen live, or you can go find the audio or the video shows of every single one of our productions here on the network. Okay, let's get back into tonight's show. So we are talking about mining your own gold of brilliance in business. Now, when I first said this topic title, did you immediately go to business and brilliance as if they should already be connected? Like, what am I brilliant about in business? Most people probably have. And here's the thing is you are brilliant in business without you realizing, because there are so many aspects of business that we are crafting all of the time without realizing it, that there are assets that can be added into our businesses. And, you know, one of the big things that holds us back from mining our own gold is our self-doubt. Self-doubt is this prevailing energy that keeps us on the hook and keeps us it's like a concrete wall that keeps us away from our brilliance. Our self-doubt is so pervasive. We don't even know half the time that we have self-doubt unless we are starting to pay real attention to the words that we are using, pay attention to the energies that are going on within us when we are looking at our businesses, when we're looking at where we are succeeding and where we are not succeeding in our desires in our business. Also looking at what other people are creating out there and what is your reaction when you see people being successful. Pay attention to that. Sometimes it can be a very quiet moment in your life. You might be just scrolling on your phone or scrolling online and seeing what other people are doing and how they're succeeding, and then pay attention to what comes up in you. That's going to show you, that's going to highlight some of those areas where you have self-doubt that is seeping into your world. Self-doubt can also be a gift, because when you become aware of a doubt that you have in your business, anywhere in your business, when you become aware of it, it also can be like a neon light that says, hey, Christine, over here, you're weak in this area. We're showing you this so you can get stronger, so that, you know what? On the other side of that weakness, on the other side of that doubt, you're closer and closer to your desires. So what if you pull back from beating yourself up or drinking more of the Kool-Aid of this self-doubt, and you started to see it as highlights across the map of your days, as like, oh, thank you for showing me that. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, wow, that person's successful and I'm resentful. Wow, I've got some resentment to release. Why would I be resentful? I'm happy for people who succeed, right? Oh, wow, I'm really down on myself because I didn't hit those targets. Wow, did I doubt that I could do that? Then you can start digging more into these areas. You see, self-doubt can paralyze you or it can propel you. It's totally up to you. It's, again, what's your perspective on this? What if you took doubt, self-doubt, and you just shifted it 5 degrees? You just shifted it a little bit so that it could actually be one of your partners in supporting you to move beyond the doubt, showing you where it's time and you're ready to grow beyond it. This is such an amazing, amazing thing. Working with a coach is such a big deal. And not just because I'm a coach, but because I actually hire coaches to work with me. I know that they have been a major contributor in me learning and growing and seeing the flaws of my beliefs that I had about myself and the flaws in my perspective, not the flaws in me, but how I was seeing myself and how I was buying into what wasn't good enough about me. A coach, a great coach who is willing to stand beside you and walk with you and shine a light and support you and give you some really good nudges can make all the difference in the world. And so when you have self doubt, when you have limiting beliefs, they're going to be your partner in starting to change this. Okay. So that's a very, very important piece to really engage with and hire a coach. Don't hold back. The best sports people in the world have more than one coach. The best speakers in the world, people that are out here in the world making big changes, they're not doing it by themselves. They have got people beside them, behind them, around them, strengthening them more and more. The next thing I want to share with you is, in order to mine your brilliance, you want to be coming from the space of always learning. Do you have a learning mindset? Or have you decided enough? This is enough. This is what I'm going to do in my business. Enough. If you have hit a wall and you've decided you do not want to learn anymore, then you're not going to be mining more of your brilliance. You're not. You're not going to be open to receiving more that wants to come through. So if you can check in and just ask yourself, am I willing to have a learning mindset? Am I willing to continue to mine my own gold and be open to more and more growth? You might go through some waves of, okay, I'm going to read lots of books, or I'm going to take a lot of courses and so on. And then you just need to kind of sit back and kind of let it settle and let it marinate into your days and into your weeks and into your business. That's cool. But don't stop. Don't decide like that's it. Because when you stop that train of learning and growing, you stop the brilliance from being available to you on a larger scale than you've ever had before. That's such an important piece. Be willing to stay open. Be willing to ask questions. Be willing to lean into and learn about an area or subject that you've never learned before. Right? I love one of my favorite things that I do is I have books on audio. I have Audible on my phone. I listen to books all of the time. And in a business group last week, we were talking about business books, and I'm like, yeah, I listen to a lot of business books, but I also love to listen to books of people's journeys, their autobiographies. And when I listen to their autobiographies, I learn a great deal about these people, their journey, the choices they made. And as I am listening to these books, I am reflecting within myself the journey that they have had. I'm asking myself questions about what they're teaching us, because most autobiographies teach us about choices that they've made that were positive, that had a positive outcome, and the places where they really bumped their nose and where they needed to make a different choice, right? Those books can also add to you and into your life as you grow within yourself. Your business is going to grow as fast and go as far as you are going to grow yourself. If you don't continue to do your self-development and mine your own brilliance, your business can't get any bigger. It just can't. I have seen this with organizations of all sizes. There was the biggest organization I was with. We were an international company. We were just about to go to go on the stock market, to be a publicly traded company. We had over 1,000 employees. I was responsible for about 250, 300 of those employees. And when I was in human resources, and it was growing and growing and growing. The challenge with the top leadership was put into place by the real covert leader, who was my direct boss. He wasn't the quote unquote owner. He was part owner in the business. And the original owner's son was now the leader in the business, the leader on paper, right? My boss was the real leader in the organization. And my boss had done everything that he could to encourage this young man to grow himself, to learn, to be willing to be humble, to be willing to expand his capacities. And he didn't want any of it. And my boss and several other leaders worked for a number of years to try to cultivate a new attitude within him and a new direction. And finally, my boss said, that's it, I'm out. He was tired. He was worn out. It was starting to affect his health. And the minute that he left the company, everything started to fall apart. This company now is down to probably 300. They've lost over 2/3 of their employee base, also their customers. It was a real shock, but it really did educate us to see that if you're not willing to continue to grow, it can't not affect your business. So whether you're the only owner, you're the only employee in your business, or you have 1,000 employees, the same premise is very important. You've got to continue to grow yourself and educate yourself and learn not only about what's going on in your business area, but also within yourself. It's a really, really important thing. Okay, we are up to our final break. Do stick around. I've got a little bit more to share with you. I want to tell you about what's coming up next week and invite you into my Black Friday special. So don't go away, my friends. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Wow, these shows always go so fast. And the one part that I love about that is when I'm willing to step into and I'm willing to embrace a conversation, the ideas flow and flow and flow. And I'm open to receiving the brilliance of a lot of things that I may not even know in advance of what I'm going to be talking about and what I'm going to be sharing. But it's such an exciting thing. So one of the biggest ways to mine your own gold and mine your own brilliance in business is to speak. Speak, speak, speak. Keep speaking. If you're someone and it's part of your business, if you do not have your own show, if you do not have a podcast, a TV show where you're challenging yourself to continue to step up, you won't mine your brilliance as much as you possibly could. This has been the best decision I ever made for myself. And I'm telling you, I was challenged along the way. For sure, I was challenged along the way. I was scared. The first show was just a shit show. I cried for the first 15 minutes. There's many times when I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to say. I thought people thought I was ridiculous. And I kept challenging myself over and over and over. Step up, step up, step up. It was about me. It was about me mining my own abilities and brilliance every single time. And now I've been doing my own show for 12 years now. I am going into my 13th year of doing my own show and having my own show and mining my own brilliance. This has been my gift to me. So your voice is one of the fastest ways to learn more and more about your own brilliance. I want to challenge you on that. Oh my gosh, we're getting right down to the wire. The last thing that I want to say is I want you to start to set intentions. Start to set intentions and targets, not goals, targets. I want you to really challenge yourself to look at where you want to go in your business and set those intentions and those targets. Make them big. Challenge yourself, because when you challenge yourself, you're going to be digging even deeper and you're going to have a belief that it's possible. Remember, if it's on your heart, it's already being created. It's already possible. When you have a dream, that dream is available to you. And the same thing is in business. The same thing is true in business. So get those intentions set. Start writing them out. Get excited about what your future abilities are going to look like. Challenge every thought that you have. Challenge all of those words that you're using. Be willing to grow yourself. Grow yourself like you would a beautiful plant, a beautiful, beautiful growing stalk, maybe of potatoes. Be willing to challenge yourself. Okay, so next week, the show is Business Basics Every Owner Should Know. I'm going to get down into the basics. So if this is something that you would need support in, I hope you'll be there with me. We're going to dive into it. And if you have questions about that or areas that you want to learn more about some business basics you're challenged in, send me an email, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Okay, so my Black Friday special. I have a strategic business package that I work with business owners for close to 2 months. And during that time, the price of that, there's so many things that we can possibly do in your business, getting organized, looking at strategy, looking at pricing, looking at how you do your business, what would work to really evaluate your website, evaluate your services, evaluate how you show up in social media, how we can do it easier, faster, how it can create more for you. There's so many areas that we can look at. This strategic business package is here to support you to have a greater strategy and more pleasure in your business. Now, this is normally $2,200 and it is on special until December the 1st. So today's November the 22nd. If you're hearing this, until December the 1st, 2023, you have to send me an email before December 1st, 2023 to get this special. It is going to be on sale for 40% off. So you're going to be saving $880 on this Black Friday special. I rarely ever do a Black Friday special. It just jumped out of me. So somebody out there is obviously looking for this. Make sure you send me an email. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope that this show contributed to you. I hope you're starting to believe in yourself more about your business, that you look to have more creativity, that you look to have more pleasure and have more belief in yourself. You know, if this country girl can come up from thinking she was stupid to now running a global multimedia company, you can absolutely grow too. It's not as hard as you think. Start loving up on yourself, start believing in yourself, and allow doubt to be your partner, not doubt being something that stops you anymore. There's so many opportunities in the world, but they really start with you. And I really do hope that you will start to cultivate more of your brilliance, because you've got way more in there than you've possibly ever imagined. Thank you so much again for being here. I want you to remember that no matter what happens, no matter what's going on, I want you to remember that you can always make another choice. Until next week, take good care of yourself. Bye for now, my friends. Oh, 5 seconds. I didn't talk long enough. That's never happens. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.